It's a big day.
We're gonna kill God.
Come again?
Christian God is real. He's been asleep for thousands of years. We're gonna sneak up there and kill him.
Mob style.
Just whack his ass.
Can I kill God?
Fuck off,
As
Summer.
if.
On the next Rick and Morty.
Hunt me, somebody hunt me!
Don't hunt him to completion. Everyone start packing. No time to explain.
Rick?
Dad, what's wrong?
A lot of people out there want a piece of this, sweetie. I'm cool and it makes them feel bad. So, you know, after that trouble with Space Beth, I made passable copies of the family and placed them around the country as a buffer zone to protect...
Why does he always want to be hunted?
Jerry.
It's not important right now, Dad.
Something's off.
Shit!
There is only one name that Rick fears,
What?
and that name is Nimbus.
What is that?
I am Mr. Nimbus!
He's gonna say that a lot.
Mr. Nimbus has been talked about here and there for a while.
Nimbus!
Who is that?
He was in another episode that died,
Mr. Nimbus!
but we all loved Nimbus so much, we were just waiting for a chance to use him.
He's king of the ocean and he's a piece of shit.
Nimbus kind of is the antithesis of Rick. Maybe he's the purest form of Rick.
I used to fear you, respect you. Now all that's left is pity.
Nimbus actually is happy with himself because he knows he's the king of the ocean and he controls the police.
He's an ice cold dick killer.
How many enemies do you have to have? Why is everything a fight with you?
You might want to learn this early, Morty. Life is a fight.
You know, Morty can be on the higher ground a lot because he's this young, innocent kid. And Rick is like, you watch. You'll make enemies in your life no matter how well-intentioned you are.
Looks like you could use a hand.
Oh, hey!
Rick has a mini portal to a pocket dimension where there's a time dilation. Each generation of the Whovie world needed to be updated in their costumes. Also, keeping alive in their iconography, the banners on their castles, the holograms in a future world all have demonic images of Morty on them. Their entire culture is based around this folk demon of the boy in the portal.
Such a waste.
Mother?
I just love giant time birds at the end of existence. There's no reason for there to be a giant time bird. It doesn't really make sense, but I did insist on it.
Catch a new episode next Sunday at 11 p.m.
Something's off.
on Adult Swim.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my new Rick and Morty Season 5 Episode 2 trailer video and the cold open, the opening scene from the episode. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. I'm doing videos for all the Rick and Morty episodes for Season 5, just like I've done in previous seasons. We're doing a giveaway for Rick and Morty merch too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Easter egg from the series so far on the video. Careful for spoilers if you did not see Episode 1 yet, just because we'll be covering everything from the series so far. But Episode 2 is titled Mortyplicity, and it's a reference to the Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity from the 90s. Michael Keaton is having a bit of a major comeback in Hollywood the last 10 years or so. Like, they're actually filming the Flash movie with his version of Batman from the Tim Burton movies. That's right, they're using the multiverse as a trope in the DC movies now, so they're bringing him back as sort of like the 60-something Batman Beyond version of Batman. But the movie Multiplicity bears some similarity to the plot of this episode, as you see in the cold open in the trailer. Sometimes the titles of the episodes don't have a whole lot to do with the actual plot. But in that movie, Michael Keaton finds a way to clone himself and tries to use the clones to slack off and just do all of his work for him, until the clones start to assert themselves, they have this big rebellion, and he has to sort everything out by the end of the film. But the happy ending is the clones do wind up moving far away and opening a pizza business together, pretending to be triplets under a different name. So that movie did have a happy ending. Rick and Morty episodes don't always have a happy ending, like they don't always completely reset everything like a traditional animated sitcom. But in the opening scene, we're watching one of Rick's clone families get attacked by some aliens for unknown reasons, because as Rick has said in the past, there's always something. That was his big speech to Morty in Episode 1, when Morty was trying to justify going off the rails, starting this holy war with an alternate dimension because he just wanted to get some wine for Jessica so that he could get with her. Morty's like, there was a guy in the thing, and Rick tries to tell him there's always going to be a guy in the thing trying to mess with your plans, so just get used to it. Then Rick specifically calls out the events of the Season 4 finale, Season 4 Episode 10 with Space Beth, and how the Galactic Federation invaded the planet because of what she had been doing on her space adventures. And because she was a version of Beth, the Federation was able to track her to her home on Earth, or what they thought was her home, even though the episode tried to be ambiguous about which Beth was the clone and which Beth was the original. They turned that into a whole big thing. I know you're all still wondering about who's the real Beth, who's the clone Beth. You could argue it either way, but if you actually listen to Dan Harmon's commentary that he did separate from the episode about the way that they wrote the episode in particular, They actually did know who the real Beth was. They did make a decision about that when they were first breaking the episode. He made it sound like when they were writing the early drafts, Space Beth really was supposed to be the real Beth, meaning that after season 3, after that episode where he gives her the idea, she would have accepted his offer to clone her, allowing her to go off and have adventures around the multiverse and then come back whenever she wanted, and theoretically they just get rid of the clone when she did that, and she just stepped back into her life like nothing had changed. But then they said they thought the episode would be better if they made the clone's identity more ambiguous, which is where the whole subplot about Rick not wanting to know came from. Not wanting to know which daughter was the clone, reinforcing the idea that he's supposed to be a terrible dad who doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. Speaking of which, also from that episode, the season 4 finale, he still has Phoenix Person chilling out in the wall in pieces. Until you see him bring him back, you just have to assume he's still chilling out in that wall. They did say they would be bringing Space Beth back sometime during season 5, but they didn't say which episode, so it could be episode 2, Mortyplicity, because Rick is name-dropping her in the episode here. But that could just be a verbal reference, and she doesn't show up till later in the season. Like, this is just foreshadowing, like, oh, we're gonna name-drop her because she's coming back sometime later. It would be kind of weird if they brought her back so soon. Even when they bring back Mr. Poopy Butthole every single season, they tend to space out his episodes a bit more. But Rick explains that because Space Beth can be traced back to them, again, alien races wanting revenge, looking for her home, he created all these clone duplicate families around the world as a buffer zone. And during the cold open here, one of them has just been terminated. The funny thing here too is if you remember some of the other trailer footage from the earlier season 5 trailers, you see that right after this scene, another one of those alien ships, the aquatic looking aliens, come and vaporize the family's car. So it sounds like there are going to be a couple knee-jerk left turns during the opening parts of the episode where you have Rick saying, oh, we have to bail everyone, one of the clone families just got killed. They jump in the car to escape, but then they get killed and it's revealed that they're another one of the clone families. Like, we don't catch up with C-137 Rick till a little bit later in the episode. The whole bit with this doll that they're chasing around too, I'm Mr. Always Wants to Be Hunted, seems like some sort of creepy Mr. Boopy Butthole looking version of a Teddy Ruxpin or a Care Bear or some animatronic bear from the 80s or 90s. It feels like it's supposed to be some parody of some 80s collectible toy that people get tired of really fast, like, how long do you think this would last, you being interesting? So post all your theories about which toy this is supposed to be a parody of. It also feels kind of like a metaphor for the episode, for Rick, and I guess you could say for Space Beth too, because of the whole twist of this episode. In that Rick does really kind of want to be left alone, but he also kind of gets off on the whole adventure of it all, fighting alien races, proving himself superior to everyone, including people that want to kill him. Space Beth is also just a much more Rick-like version of Beth, so she's a lot like that too. So yes, he hates having to go through the trouble of creating all these duplicate families, all these contingency plans, but he also kind of likes being hunted too. He kind of gets off on it, because unless you're talking about the Mr. Nimbus jokes from episode 1, like Jeff Loveness, the writer, made that joke, he's the only person that Rick is afraid of. Rick isn't really afraid of any alien races. There's also a bunch of other trailer footage from the earlier trailers where you see a bunch of aquatic-looking ships flying around towards this hologram here. You also see a bunch of versions of Rick's ship disguised as alien ships amongst these two. So this feels a little bit like that Mortyplicity twist where you have a bunch of versions of Rick's families all kind of warring with each other because they're all finding out that they're duplicates. Fighting for supremacy, who's the real version of the family, who's the fake version. If you didn't see the Invincible animated series that Amazon did, it's based on Robert Kirkman's comic book. They actually had a twist like that during the series where you have an alien that clones himself, that's one of his big things, and they're always fighting over who's the real one and who's the clone. They also kind of did that during Season 3's Rest and Rick's Laxation, where you have Toxic Rick thinking himself the supreme version of Rick. Like, no, I'm going to be the one that's going to live out here in the real world. You're going to be the one that's going to go down and live in this toxic environment. So Rick fighting versions of himself isn't a brand new thing. That even goes back to Season 1 with the whole idea of the evil Rick and evil Morty that was behind him. I don't know if all these aliens are connected to the Voltron kaiju footage too, because the designs of the kaiju aliens seem similar to the designs of some of these alien warriors in the suits. I also love the way they open that with them talking about going to kill God so nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, he's real, we're going to get him right now. But the way they pull back on that is by saying that this family was fake. They're not actually doing that during the episode. That's the way a lot of animated series like this can get away with edgier jokes, by pulling it back, like saying, no, see, it was just a bit we were doing within the episode. It's not actually happening in the episode. The whole thing with Season 5 sort of returning to form is that they're airing all 10 episodes for Season 5 without any huge breaks between the episodes, which is great. But that also means that they're still finishing work on the last couple of episodes right up until the last minute, just because animation on Rick and Morty takes way longer to complete than other more simple animation series like South Park, which is very purposefully made to look very crappy, even though they do it all in computer animation. So for example, they'll be finishing Rick and Morty Season 5 Episode 10, that finale, right up until the last minute, right before they're forced to deliver it to Adult Swim so that they can air it on television. So the other good news too for future seasons is that the wait between seasons wouldn't be quite as long anymore. There wouldn't be any huge breaks. So Rick and Morty Season 6 will premiere around this time next year, and the schedule will mostly be the same. Like right now, they're actually starting work, or they're in the middle of working on Rick and Morty Season 7, but that's really just writing the episodes. But if you spotted any more Easter eggs in this trailer footage that I didn't talk about in the video, let me know in the comments below. In my full Rick and Morty Season 5 Episode 2 video, we'll post Monday, just like normal. In my full Loki Episode 4 video, we'll post Wednesday. There's a couple other bonus videos that I'm working on that'll post before then. If you have any big questions or Rick and Morty bonus videos that you want me to make, just let me know in the comments below. Congratulations, Prince Zodiac, you're the giveaway winner from my last big Rick and Morty video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Everyone click here for my full Rick and Morty Season 5 Episode 1 video, and click here for my brand new Shang-Chi trailer video with the Abomination versus Wong. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys tonight.